Welcome back. Right. So as I had mentioned to you in my earlier videos, if any one of you have any doubts, please write to us by email to our email address. Our email address is askmentorguru@gmail.com. See, the purpose of all these videos that we are uploading is try to communicate the fundamental concepts of 8th standard mathematics NCERT syllabus as clearly as possible. Okay. So we are putting in a lot of effort to understand the concepts and then explain it in a very, very simple language. See, when I'm explaining, my intended audience, they are 8th standard students. Okay. So that is why there are many concepts which I keep repeating. This is definitely not intended for somebody who is in their BSc or MSc degree. This is for kids who are studying in 8th standard. So some of you, if you are a parent, right, and you had done your graduation from mathematics, when you look at my video, you will find that I am repeating the concepts again and again. You might find it boring also, okay, right? But don't find mistake with me, because I am assuming that the little masters will be listening to my videos and hence I am repeating it. See, I do not want them to make mistakes. See, I am very passionate about children studying mathematics, right? I am very passionate about children excelling in mathematics. I want many people to say mathematics is easy. It is not difficult. If we understand the concept the right way. Okay. So feel free to interact with me. Feel free to share these videos to as many people as possible. These are anyway free, right? We are not charging. Right? This will always remain free. We will never charge. Okay. So the idea is to share our knowledge to as many people as possible. Now let us talk about Pythagorean triplet or Pythagorean triplet. See, I always had this doubt what the right pronunciation is. Okay. So don't find mistake with me. If Pythagorean triplet, if Pythagorean, that pronunciation is wrong, because that is how I studied in my earlier days. I am finding it very difficult to change now, right? So I beg your pardon in case if this is a mistake, right? So there are certain numbers. Let us say, for instance, you take 3 square, it is 9, 4 square, it is 16. You add 9 plus 16, you get 25, which is 5 square, right? So the numbers, 3 square is 9, 4 square is 16, and 5 square is 25. So when you add 9 with 16, you get 25, right? So the numbers 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5 are called Pythagorean triplets, right? Similarly, let us take another number. You take 6 square, which is 36. 8 square is 64. You add these two. 36 plus 64 equal to 100, which is 10 square. So 6 square plus 8 square equal to 10 square. So 6, 8, 10, they form another Pythagorean triplets. What is the meaning of triplets? Combination of 3 numbers. 3 numbers. They are called triplets. Okay. So when 2 child is born together, we call it as twins, right? When 3 child is born together, they are called triplets. So a combination of three numbers is what these triplets mean. So let us consider another number. Right? 5, 12, 13. Okay. 5 square is 25. 12 square is 144. When you add these two, you get 169, which is 13 square. So 5, 12, 13, they form another such triplets. Right? So if you ask me, is there a way to find all such triplets? The answer is, there is no generic way of identifying all the triplets. Okay. So there are no formula that will give you all the triplets. But if three numbers are to be called as triplets, then the sum of squares of two numbers should be equal to the square of the third number. Okay. So this is one rule. In general, what we can say is that for any number, for any natural number m greater than 1, okay, for any natural number m greater than 1, 2m, m squared minus 1, m squared plus 1 form a Pythagorean triplets. This we can say. Right? But we cannot say all the Pythagorean triplets will be of this form. For instance, you try writing the Pythagorean triplets 5, 12, 13 in this form. You will not be able to write. Okay. But the Pythagorean triplet 3, 4, 5 can be written. Right? You substitute for m number 2. Then 2m is 4. M squared minus 1 is 2 square, which is 4 minus 1, 3. M squared plus 1 is 4 plus 1, 5. Right? So for any natural number m greater than 1, 2m, 2 multiplied by m, m square minus 1, m square plus 1 form a Pythagorean triplet. Right? So if you are asked a question, find the Pythagorean triplets. Right? This is an example given in the book. Let me read it out. Write a Pythagorean triplet whose smallest member is 8. So we know Pythagorean triplets will have 3 members in it, right? And it says let the smallest member be 8. So let us first consider m squared minus 1. Let us consider m squared minus 1 is the smallest member. See, for most of the triplets, 2m will be the smallest number, okay? But we cannot generally say that 2m always will be the smallest number. Hence, as a matter of practice, we will have to assume that either 2m or m squared minus 1 will be the smallest member of the triplet. So we have to find out which one holds good, okay? So in this case, you are asked to find the Pythagorean triplet whose smallest member is 8. Now let us assume that m squared minus 1 is the smallest member. So you put m squared minus 1 equal to 8. M squared is equal to 8 plus 1, which is 9. So m equal to 3. So if m is 3, what will be 2m? It will be 6. So you have 2m as 6, which is less than 8. But it is already given the smallest member is 8. So m squared minus 1 cannot be equal to 8. Right? So now you put 2m equal to 8. Then m becomes 4. So the Pythagorean triplets in which 8 is the smallest member are 8, 15, because m square, m is 4, 4 square, 16 minus 1 is 15, and m square plus 1, 16 plus 1, 17. Okay. So these are the Pythagorean triplets, right? Now, why are these numbers called as Pythagorean triplets? See, they form the dimension of a right-angled triangle. See, if you have right-angled triangle with base, altitude and hypotenuse, you already know, you have studied Pythagorean theorem that says hypotenuse square equal to altitude square plus base square, right? See, that is why these numbers are called as Pythagorean triplets, because they form the dimension of a right-angled triangle, and it is basically deducted out of Pythagorean theorem. This is just for your information. Okay. Again, let us recollect. The numbers of the form 2m, m squared minus 1, m squared plus 1 form Pythagorean triplets. But not all Pythagorean triplets should be of this form. Okay. So we say a collection of 3 numbers as Pythagorean triplet provided the sum of squares of 2 numbers is equal to the square of the third number. Not all Pythagorean triplets can be represented as 2m, m squared minus 1, m squared plus 1. Okay. But for any natural number m greater than 1, 2m, m squared minus 1, m squared plus 1 are surely Pythagorean triplets. This you have to understand it very clearly. Not all Pythagorean triplets are of this form. But if you put any value for m which is greater than 1 into this form 2m, m squared minus 1, m squared plus 1, the result is always a Pythagorean triplet. Okay? Clear? Please listen to this video again and again. Alright? You have to be absolutely clear that the numbers of the form 2m, m squared minus 1, m squared plus 1 are Pythagorean triplets, but not all Pythagorean triplets can be represented in this form. Example is 5, 12, 13. Alright, this is a Pythagorean triplet but cannot be represented in that form. Right? So if you have any doubts, you know how to ask. Write an email to askmentorguru@gmail.com. Alright. So in our next video, we will see how we can find the square root. We will define square root, how to find square root. You know, all those things we will see in our next set of videos. These are very interesting chapters, right? I feel very happy when I talk about these chapters. I'm sure you also will find it very, very interesting. Okay, thank you.